Welcome to My Period Stories with me, Funke Treasure. This is a show where we talk about menstruation and issues relating to menstruation. Our desire is to normalize the period conversations. We hope that this will bring about a legislation, swing in our favor the men and the women who need to pass such legislations to make sanitary pads free for school-aged girls in Nigeria.
Period shaming for girls, actually it's a norm. Except that some of them, they've not been able to accept the fact that it's a norm. Because I'm listening to them and then going by some of the ones I have experienced. We've had some of them who started at about 8, 9
years old.
Yes, and as at the time they started, they didn't quite know that, they didn't quite know what to expect. And one of the things that they ought to have been informed would have to be the stain.
Two things: the young girl who committed suicide, a teenager. A second one, the Kenyan legislator who was asked to leave the parliament to go change. Of course, I feel she planned it, that she really didn't get stained. I think probably she did that for just to test. But let's just assume that it happened to her. Let's talk to me about those two incidences as someone who deals with mental health, because this has a correlation with mental health as well. If you get shamed to the point of you committing suicide as a teenager, I think that's really grave.
Yeah, I'll say that stigmatization is all about disqualifying another person. Okay, like you break down their esteem and make them feel like a nobody. I say if it is not a period shame, as we go on in life, especially as girls, female, you will be faced with one stigma or another. The major thing is never allow it get into you. So before you could say that, oh, I want to take my life, you've allowed it, you've absorbed it, you've taken it in. And usually it's a thread, okay? It's not about the shame, the period shame itself. It could have been attached to other things that maybe the period shame aggravated it, and then the individual felt, after all, nothing is good about me. So stigma punctures esteem, makes the person undergoing it or in the situation feel, nothing good about my life, or nothing is good about me, basically. So the outlook, the way you see yourself, the way you feel about yourself, then the interpretation you give, the perception you give about who you are, stigma could aggravate that in the negative direction, basically. So that's how I think.
Girls, do you have questions to Auntie Wemi? You should have questions. She's talking about mental health and shaming. You should have questions.
I want to ask a question. Like, if you miss a month, is there anything bad there? If you miss any month?
Oh, okay. Of not menstruating.
Yes.
Okay. It is normal, especially when a young girl is just starting. Okay. The body is, when you're menstruating, you have hormonal imbalance here and there. And,
do you know what hormonal imbalance is?
No.
Okay.
That's a big word.
Okay.
There.
The flow within you, will not be steady. Okay, this moment you're happy, the other moment you are not happy, which is your mood. This moment your body is hot, another moment your body is calm. So there's something happening in your body that is responsible for that. So at times, you may not have it consistently. It may not come in the month of January, it may not come in February, it may extend for 1 month, 2 months. Okay, your body is still trying to adjust to the new life. Okay, it's a journey. So don't worry yourself, basically. The reason a girl child could be worried is when you are ignorant of what is happening, and then when the girl child is already sexually active. So when they are active, they feel, oh, am I pregnant? Okay, basically.
Right. Okay, so let's come back to the mental health thing. So affected such that a teenager took her life. I like the particular word you used, that stigma is about disqualifying somebody else. That's a very graphic way to put it. Disqualifying somebody. I've never heard it said like that before. I've never seen stigma like that. I know that period poverty can really be terrible, and people can really feel a sense of unworthiness, absolute unworthiness, but nothing. Girls, are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing should make you want to take your life. Let's go back to Auntie Wemi. Any other question for her? Do you have a question for her? You're still thinking about it like, armpits. Disqualifying. What am I hearing today? Let's come back to Auntie Wemi. So the woman legislator, I see you laughing when I said I personally think that she did it intentionally because she was wearing white that day. And is it possible that she actually talk to us. What do you think?
Well, it's not okay for us to conclude over people's actions and then, so long
It
as
went viral. We're all giving our opinions.
So long as she didn't disclose her intention, but it played out to be so. And I think she achieved something at the end of the day.
Yeah, because then she had some ready packs of pads that she then took to school. Like, were they just waiting in the wings to be distributed that same day?
Well, it's not impossible that there has been, some sort of stigmatization underneath. And the only way she could begin a movement was to come up with that strategy, basically. Because, women generally... we have, there are some specific areas where culture, tradition, and belief is silencing the voice of the woman. But there is also a way you could raise your voice by being strategic about it. So possibly she wanted to be strategic. She came up with that.
When you say there's a way you can raise your voice, I came to look at you girls. Did that sound familiar? Something I said earlier today? Did you hear that from me? You have to be assertive. You have to let your voice be heard.
Ma'am.
Your queens. Yeah? Do you remember when I said you have to let your voice be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
See, Auntie Wemi was not here when I said that, and now she's saying that. So let's look at how women react to other women who are shamed from period stains. She told us earlier on that her experience of another girl who suffered from period stain and the shame of it was that it's girls who were making fun of her, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. It was girls who were making fun of her. And we'll recall that in the same Kenyan legislature, it was another woman who stood up to speak so ferociously, so eloquently about why the other legislators shouldn't have been stained. What's your take on that?
Okay, I'll say that people who stigmatize others, regardless whether you're a male or female, okay, you're also a victim of stigma. So, and then they believe if I went through this, then there's nothing there if I shame another person. So it's actually more like a chain, a circle. And that's why it has to be broken. Because it's a form of abuse. When an individual undergoes abuse and then you do not get help, there's every possibility you're likely to become an abuser, either directly or subtly. So it's not impossible, really. So, and then also, ignorance is also a factor to be considered, because a lot of people do not know what the impact of what they say, how they treat others, A lot of people do not know the negative impact, how heavy, how huge it is on other person's mental health, the way they feel. And of course, it's not impossible that they themselves, like I said, have felt it. So they take joy seeing other people feel what they believed they had felt before.
Girls, does that sound familiar to you? Do you have anything to say to that? Can you tell a story about some of your girlfriends in school who probably fit into what Auntie Wemi is saying? Anyone? No. You haven't really observed. You're not talking, you're just smiling.
The same girl that was staying in my school, that girl, she liked making jest of others, no matter what happened. Maybe it is something funny or it is something that is painful. She liked making jest of others. So I think maybe it is because she liked making jest of others. That is why those girls made jest of her.
Okay, so she's just thrown right to it. So that means you're right. This is amazing. This is so amazing. Shall we clap for Auntie Wemi? Auntie Wemi is so... No, that clap is not coming from here. Okay, so that's just about it. We've been talking about stigmatization, period shaming. Should we really be shaming those who get stained? What degree of shaming will make a teenager kill herself, commit suicide? So, but how do we deal with this sort of people? How should the society react to this?
We would always have them around. That's the reality. However, one of the first thing is that you need to identify what you're dealing with, okay? Because if you're not able to identify it and then name it that, oh, this is a form of stigma, then it's not going to be easier when you experience it, to know what you're dealing with. That's one. Then two, I'll say that you need to accept the reality, okay? Somebody somewhere may laugh at me today. Right. So I want to, either prevent somebody from laughing at me, or when eventually they laugh at me, I want to ignore it, okay? And then when it comes to period shaming, okay, you need to understand that it's not about you. You are living like a normal human being, okay? It is not what you brought upon yourself. You were created that way. It's not your doing. You can't even stop it, naturally from coming. So it shows that you are healthy, you are normal. And it's the other person who lacks the understanding of how healthy you are as a girl. Okay? And then I'll say that it is not everything you respond to. Okay? Because it is time bound. At most 5 days, 6 days. And it's also a caution, it's a call back to yourself to take care of yourself, to not give room for the other person to find something to shame you over. Package yourself properly. You look at yourself before you leave the house. Is there something somewhere that could be showing, that could expose me behind, that could make someone somewhere make jest of me? And having done all, whoever laughs at you, that's the person's cup of tea.
Any responses, girls? Have you tried that? Because I know some girls can be really difficult and impossible. Do you have examples to share?
She said that we should try to ignore those people that laugh. We should just ignore them, that anything they say is their own cup of tea. And what I understood from what she says is that it's lack of understanding that makes them talk that way. People say experience is the best teacher, but I don't think so. Information is surely the best teacher, because when you lack information, or when you have information, there's no how you can misplace. Because when you are informed about something, you will know the right.
So you do not agree that experience is the best teacher. I think information. Right, let's come back to you.
She said information is the best teacher, that experience is not the best teacher. But it is not true, because it is not everybody that heed information. There are some people, if you try to tell them something, even more than 100 times, they will keep doing the same thing. And they will keep getting this. It's not everybody that heed information. So I don't think information is the best teacher.
So with these few points of yours, you have been able to convince all of us that information is not... You want to counter? Let's hear you.
You are saying that experience is the best teacher. You want to experience how trailer hits someone now. If you know that if you are going to stand in the road and you are going to die if this car hits you, if you have the information that, okay, before you cross, you have to look left, look right, then before you move, you have the information on how to do this thing, then you do it the right way. But, okay, you want to experience vehicle accident, just go, enter now. You're a gunner, so wrong. So that's just it.
Okay, she wants to reply you. I'm loving this.
It is not everybody. Okay, you want to tell me that it is everybody that died by accident, like maybe Taylor crossed somebody. It is on purpose. They are not dying on purpose. It is by mistake.
Because they lack information. They are dying because they lack information. Understand?
Well, what if it's a mistake and it just happened, like that train accident?
It happens. Mistake. If what happens, mistake is because you lack information, then you make mistake. If you have full knowledge of something, when I'm full knowledge of something, there's impulse. It's bad for you to make mistake. That's the truth. If you have full knowledge of something, it's bad for you to make mistake.
Okay, you want to quickly say something?
You said if you have, like, nobody is above mistake. Even though you know it, like, you can still make mistake. They said people learn from their mistake. Even though you, I don't believe in experience. I believe in experience. Like, if they tell you something, like, said, don't touch that fire, and you be like, you want to be stubborn, and you go there and you touch, you see how it hits and how it burn you, then you're going to know, yes, I'm not going to go there again. But if the way they inform you, like, don't go there, and you want to form, like, I want to go there, I want to see how the thing will turn out. You now go there and see how the thing hits you, like it burn you, then you learn from your mistake. That's my own.
Everybody has their own side of view. Everybody has their own point of view. Me, yes, saying that, I don't think so. So you can't just come out and tell me that, oh no, you must say it's experience. I said it's information, and I understand it that way.
And you stand by it?
Yeah.
All right.
That is what you said. You stood by your own word, and I stood by my own word. There is nobody, as she said, nobody is above mistake. And you saying that if somebody, maybe you touch fire burn you, you say, no, I'm not going to get there again. If you touch fire the first time and the fire burn you, that doesn't mean that fire cannot burn you again. It can still burn you over and over again. It can still burn you, but it might not be on purpose. It might be mistake. So there is mistake. There's nothing like information is the best teacher. There's always mistake. Nobody is above mistake.
At this very juncture, as the judge of this panel, I hereby declare this case closed. But it's interesting to see and hear all of you, with the exception of Destiny, make your points about mistakes and experience and information. It's interesting to know. And so, Wemi, so would you want to weigh in on this argument?
The truth is they are both right. Yeah.
I think the three of them. Okay, yeah. So you supported the woman with the young girl with the experience. There you go.
Experience, information, you need both in life. Basically.
Right. So you've shared your period stories at the beginning. So I'm coming to Auntie Wemi now to share her period story with us. What is that unforgettable period story? Because I know that you're also in this line of, enlightening girls, talking with teenagers. I mean, you single-handedly activated our Shagamu location last year, December. And with that, we have you to thank. Girls, clap for Auntie Wemi. And so in Shagamu, Ogun State, the SPMC has about 150 girls there on the PAT scholarship. So that's a fantastic one coming from Wemimo Adebiyi, who's been supporting the SPMC in very many ways. But talk to us about your personal period story. I'd like to hear.
Okay, I think the first time I had my period, I was 14. And I didn't quite understand what it was. I could remember vividly I was outside the house on the balcony. Then I felt something warm, out of me. So at first I thought I peed on my body. But as a child, I was actually very inquisitive. So I touched it. I couldn't talk to my mom because I was afraid. I didn't know what our response was going to be. I couldn't talk to
because
anybody.
You were not sure whether you had hurt yourself to deserve that
but I think my dad observed one or two things. Then he just gave one of the aunties living with us, I think he gave her some money and then asked her to please help talk to me about it. She never did. But somehow I coped.
But at least you
I
both
understood, how to coordinate myself.
So that's your period story. And we all have our period stories, to be honest. We all have our period stories. Nice to have the girls listen to the women talk about period shaming. So now you know about counseling and disqualifying. Earlier in the day, while we were also recording, we heard about gender justice, and I know that there's something called menstrual justice. Going away from this episode of my period stories, what is that thing that you learned, that new thing that you learned? I'm going to start from you, and then I'll end up with Destiny.
I learned that no matter what, we should never try to, we shouldn't listen to what others are saying. Don't let it get into your head. Because that is what made that 14-year-old girl kill herself. If it wasn't that she listened to and put it in her head, that the thing was too much, she wouldn't have killed herself. And I have a friend like that in her family, she was living with her grandmother, and her grandmother brought in a lot of strangers that are living with them. So those people, there was a time that all of them, I don't know what happened that time because the both of us were having a misunderstanding. I just know that every day they always insult her that whatever she do.
So what happened to her?
It isn't right. One day I just heard that her father came to pick her. Just like I used to see her, she used to talk to herself like she's mentally unstable. But when her father came to pick her up, that they checked and they said it was because of those things that they are saying to her, that she had nobody to talk to. And that thing I've got into her head. That is what made her like that.
Right. So it's good to know that you can connect the dots. And so you're not going to do that to anybody, talk to anybody anyhow. Let's hear it from you.
I learned that when you are menstruating, so many things come out from your body, like from your armpit.
I know you people will not forget that. The smell from the armpit.
The smell from the armpit and other parts, like it come out and it smells. It brings out some odor from your body. And I also learned that if you miss any month, like it's normal for every girl that starts early to miss their
if you miss a month, it's okay. If you
yeah.
miss 2 months, it's okay.
Yes.
Your body is adjusting to it.
Yes.
Okay, great. Esther?
I learned that we should observe. We should learn to observe other girls, observe ourselves, and try as much as possible not to body shame and other girls. Take them the way they are, and we are all the same. So that's just it.
And that's from the girl who doesn't want to work for anyone but herself. And finally, to Destiny.
I learned that we should not allow anything that anybody told us about previous thing to get into our head and try to commit suicide or do anything stupid. That we should just go and change
and live a life, have a life. Okay, thank you very much, girls. It's been wonderful to having you on my period stories today. I've been really enriched by the argument. Should we forget that in a hurry? Which is the better, information or experience? Experience is the best teacher. Information is the best teacher. Finally, I'd like to thank Wemimo Adebiyi for finding time to be on the show today. She is very busy and she's into many projects. She supports many projects, and I'm really happy that you're supporting the work we're doing at the SPMC, the Sanitary Pad Media Campaign. So this is coming for you, is a little token to you to remember your visit here and to keep working with us. We hope that very soon we'll be going to Abeokuta to activate and have more girls and more women from low-income areas work with us on the Sanitary Pad Media Campaign. So this is for you.
Thank you. So cute.
Yeah, I thought so too. Okay, and to the girls, this is reusable pads. It's different from the ones you've been getting. This is what you got from us at the beginning of the pad scholarship, and then you started getting it in packs of nylon, right? So, but now I'm going to give you gifts of reusable pads that you can use later. This will take you a year. Let me get some more from here and here. So this is for Destiny. There you go. And this is for Esther. With these few points of mine, I want to say that information is as good as experience. Both are needed for you to live a good life. You need information. Actually, information should be knowledge. Knowledge is power, actually. I'm sure that's what Esther is arguing about. If you have knowledge, you have power, and it enlightens you. But I also agree that experience is the best teacher. You need both of them to live a life, have a life, and live it thriving. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you, Wemimo, for coming as well. That's it on My Period Stories today. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back again next week. I'm Funke Treasure. Join us again.